You good?
Hey everybody, welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, senior instructor here on our YouTube channel. Glad to have you all here. Joey, I don't have chat, so I can't see that. Hopefully you'll get that over to me in a second so I can see who all is talking to me and go from there. Joey, get that up for me. All right, so if you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative and let me know where you're tuning in from. It'd be greatly appreciated. Tell me when I can grab it, Joey. All right, and let me know where you're coming in from, and we'll go from there. I don't think we have YouTube up to Facebook up today, do we, Joey?
No, we're not doing it anymore.
Okay, I got you. All right, let me go get my chat so I can go see it. Move this over across my screen to here. There we go. Now I can see my chat. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Miss McClintock says, morning. Are you across on the other side of the world? Yeah, Southern California. I got you. Jacksonville, Florida, Maryland. My wife is heading over to Maryland for the weekend. Your thoughts, my thoughts on NVDA put options. Let me see. If I've got time today, I'll look at individual stocks. I got a lot. Your audio is weak only, Glenn. Ooh. Let me see. Let me know how I sound for everybody. Do I sound good? Do I sound? Glenn, volume is very low. All right, so I'm getting that. I'm going to turn up my gain a little bit. Hopefully that helps. So everybody's saying that. Well, not everybody. A couple of people are saying that. Jordash. Remember Jordash? Look at that. Hold on. Joey's doing that. I was going to highlight that. Allentown, PA. I like that. Let me hit this. I did have. You remember how many of you have been around since Jordash Jeans? Look at that. North Carolina. Jordash says Jordash Apples, North Carolina. Did you get that name from Jordash Jeans? How many of you remember Jordash Jeans? Harry says, I need more volume. I can hear Joey, but not Glenn. Maybe that's a good thing, says Mark. Wow. You're competing, speaking tough talk. Wow, Kirby. All right, so you're right, Glenn. Oil is benefiting because of the war. Better audio. Levi's only, says Ron. All right, now sounds much better. Thank you, Joey. Now sound is everybody's saying better sound. How to ride VXX? Well, we're going to talk a lot about this. Yes, your volume is down, but I'm hearing a lot of people saying that the volume is coming up better. All right, so we've got a lot to talk about today. As you know, Russia went into Ukraine. That's affecting the market adversely. All right. I got Ward from Belgium. Thank you for being here, for all you guys that are here. And we still have runaway inflation. Now, I think that the two are going to compensate each other, for the lack of a better word. With the sanctions that will be put on Russia, and they are exporters of oil, natural gas, and other commodities. With the sanctions that they're going to put on Russia, whether it's us, whether it's European nation, all of that, or the European nations, all of that, that's going to stifle the exports from Russia, keeping supply low, even though demand is high, still pushing prices higher. So I understand that, from a military standpoint, you know me, I'm prior military, former Marine, all right? And you look at how all of this stuff is affecting the market. Inflation is going to get more inflationary. Now, tie that into the interest rates hikes. Remember I stated, it must have been Monday in midday market, that the Fed could come out aggressively, come out of the gate and raise 1 point instead of a quarter or a half a point. I think that this gives them more ammunition to come out of the gate hot, to come out to go after inflation. Oil is now above $100. All right. So from an inflationary standpoint, folks, this whole Russia-Ukraine thing is adding to what we've got coming on. The Feds are pumping the markets. How, Kevin? When you say the Feds are pumping the market, the Fed is not doing that anymore. As a matter of fact, the Feds are going to be taking money out of the market by raising interest rates. So I don't think that they're pumping the market. So I don't agree with that. Thank you, Kevin. Hoorah. So I don't think it's that they're, there's no such thing as an ex-Marine, Tommy. There's no such thing as an ex-Marine unless your name is Lee Harvey Oswald. Notice I said former Marine. Notice I said former Marine. Saudi Arabia is not producing more oil than before also. Absolutely. So OPEC is being stingy with the oil, keeping the supply. They're not putting it out as much as to help everybody else. They're not putting it out there. That's also going to help to drive oil prices high. So all of this, oil prices moving higher, is systemic of inflation. And if inflation keeps running, even though the Fed is going to raise interest rates, they may be hawkish and raise even faster and harder than we first anticipated. So all I'm saying is just, and I'm with you, WT. I hope I said that right. Why-tie? I am always a Marine. I'm still I'm not an active duty Marine anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your response. SPY going to 400? That's because, Brian, I didn't give a response. So I don't have, I ain't going to answer a question I don't fully have an answer to or prepared to answer. So that's why you didn't hear my response. All right. With all of that being said, let me take this off. With all of that being said, we've got to get hot and heavy into, I wanted to give a little bit of a diatribe as to how this war, it is now, I'm going to call it a war, this war with Russia against Ukraine is affecting our markets. I hate to do political stuff, so it's not political. This is all economics. Kirby says he's running from questions. What are you talking about, Kirby? Kirby, we ain't going down that path, and not in here, man. We're not doing that. If it's not about the economics, folks, I'm not gonna address it. All right, I'm just putting that out there. It's all about the economics. There's other forums where we can get into the political stuff. This ain't it. All right. So let's get right into the program. All right, let's start off there. One of the biggest things, yes, Brandon, that's one of the stocks we will be looking at today. One of the biggest things is, as a VectorVest subscriber, we've got and had our subscribers out of the market for a minute. All right, so for those of you who are not subscribers to the software, it's fine. I never do a hard sell on trying to sell the software. I'm just not going to do it because software will sell itself. My goal here is to teach you about what's going on and help you find some stocks to get into and have a better understanding of what's going on in the market to help you make a better decision in the market. In our color guard, which is pretty much our traffic light into the market, a lot of red. That means just like you get to a red light, you stop. In this case, you stop buying stocks long. That's it in a nutshell. Our confirmed call, the slowest, most conservative timing call, we're still in confirmed down call, and we have been since November of 2021. So for those longer term investors, we've had you out of the market since November of last year. All right, so I'm just putting that out there. Can you talk about gold today, Patrick? We will. All right, Patrick, we will. All right, looking at the indices today, they opened up. How many of you looked at my short on YouTube? Every so often, I will go put a short video. It's about a 1-minute video. I talked about the pre-market. I talked about that it was going down, but I'm always the guy that's like, just stay focused on what's going on. Always stay focused on what's going on, and don't let the news push you one way or the other. Didn't say to ignore the news, but stick to your trading plan. That's why everybody's got a trading plan. You should be. I can't normally watch this live, but I'm a big fan. Thank you, William. I appreciate you being here. I really, 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 really do. All right. So interesting how the market responded today by starting off to the downside from the futures, but responded by moving higher. Aha. Now, if you are a VectorVest subscriber and you watch the daily color guard report on a nightly basis, I let you know that we've got two indicators that are letting us know that the market is starting to search for a bottom, the MTI and the buy to sell ratio. I'm not going to get hot and heavy into that. That's primarily for our subscribers to the VectorVest system. It's part of their subscription to get that daily nightly report every night. So interesting how the market is looking at a level of a bottom, trying to find a bottom, and the market rebounded today. So before we look at any news stories on the market, I'm going to go to the graphs tab. Intraday, here we stand. Intraday, here we stand. I'm going to put this on a 3-month graph. because I've had a level that I've drawn for our subscribers, a level of support on our VectorVest composite, which was sitting at about 59.59. There it is. We broke through it with the big down day today from the beginning, but look at that rebound. Look at that open candle. Look at that rebound. Can we get back above that now level of resistance and hold on and see what goes on? But a big rebound on our VectorVest composite today, and very interesting. So I wanted to show the intraday graph. We normally do that on midday market. But I wanted to show today that the market did come out the gate hot to the downside. We didn't fully fade the gap to the upside, but look at this. We keep getting higher highs since the market opened this morning. The market looks like it's trying to rebound, but the news is still hot and heavy about the war. And now we can officially call it a war, and inflation is still in play. So I wanted to show you an intraday graph of the market. I'm going to put this back on a 3-month, and then I'm going to put us back into the news that's moving the market. All right. So this is why I say the Fed could come out the gate with a bigger, faster, harder interest rate increase. Fed Bostic says Ukraine crisis adds risks to the outlook. Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta president is still on board with central bank's plan for monetary policy normalization, but I'm thinking that with what's going on, it's got an opportunity, if it really wanted to jump at this really quick. Now, Russia's economy is getting hit. Their markets are getting hit. Russia's central bank has banned short selling amid 50% stock market plunge. So, he's got his country going after the Ukraine at the expense of his market. 50% stock market plunge. That's huge. That's huge. Well, the sanctions are coming, and it's going to affect his market to the downside a little bit more. Maybe will that pressure him to stop? I don't know, and I'm not going to try to guess about that. Not at all. Next story. Economy gained. Now, this is interesting. The economy gained momentum in February despite inflation worries, and that was because of the Omicron 19 wave has been abated. Now, no matter what state you're in, I think you're going to see some legislation coming out of each one of the states doing away with the mandates for masks. All right, a lot of people are feeling a little bit more comfortable with COVID, that it's here, that we can deal with it, da-da-da. So we're keeping that in mind. Jay says, of note, the bottom fishing searches are moving towards the top of the Derby. That makes sense. Roy says, Kramer says sell oil. Ooh. So think about it this way, Roy. If oil is rising, and the petroleum sector has been one of the hottest sectors prior to what was going on in Russia, would you feel comfortable getting out of oil right now? I have to ask that question of everybody in the room. If you feel that you're ready to get out of oil right now, type a 1 in the room. If you feel that oil is still a positive play, type a 2 in the room. All right? Type a 1 if you feel that this is the time that oil is maxed out and it's too late and it's time to get out of oil. Type a 1. If you still think that oil is a good play, type a 2 in the room. I want to see where you guys' heads at. I want to see where you guys' heads are at, because I still feel, personally, that it's a good spot to be. No, the numbers were either 1 or 2. Wow, there we go. All right. If oil is, now it sucks because it affects us at the pumps. It does. And it affects inflation. It does. But if it's an opportunity to make some money, I got one. Job progress report says 1. I don't know if an Eton in Israel says 1. Interesting. You guys may think that oil is peaked out. Interesting. All right, we're going to take a look at it. All right, my XLE way down. That's energy. That's not specifically oil. That's energy. So I'm talking about petroleum job progress support, not energy in particular, but specifically petroleum or oil. All right, so Reginald says XLE isn't doing well. We might take a look at that. All right, and let's get to the next story. Next story is Fed official leaves the door open. Ta-da! This story came out 3 days ago. Fed official leaves door open for larger rate increase in March. Larger rate increase in March. So I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. The story's it in. Now, this is Governor Michelle Bowman calls for prompt and decisive action and lowered inflation. So all I'm saying is that with everything that's going on with Russia, oil is now above $100 a barrel. Inflation is still what inflation is. I don't think it's off the table to go raise interest rates by 1 point. Now, will it happen? I don't know. The door is open. All right, will bank stocks go up, Justin? I'm still a fan of while interest rates go up, that bank stocks will go up. Now, and there's another thing, talking about that in regards to inflation, we've got a hot stock panel next Wednesday. At 2 p.m., hot stocks to invest in rising interest rates, something like that. Rising interest rate stocks that should hold their own in rising interest rates. Don't forget to be here next Wednesday at 2 p.m. for that. All right, and last but not least, I've got one more story. Ukraine invasion has the Fed on alert, but not changing course. So 2 different stories there. I like to put all the stories out there. One story says that it could increase it heftily, and another story says oil prices soar and worries mount about future energy supplies. What the conflict in Europe means for the global economy, blah, 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 blah. All right, so 2 different sides of the story in regards to how big the rate increase can be. All right, let's get into the VectorVest software. Let's go to the Viewers tab. This is a story that I'm working on for you for next week. Actually, for tomorrow. Let's go to Trending Thursday, 2/24/22. I've got a lot of stocks to look at today. You were talking about oil, talking about gold. I've got stocks in my watch list to take a look at today. But in regards to taking a look at the market, the 2 things I look at are, for those who are VectorVest subscribers, I look at the VVC. For those of you who are not, we look at the S&P 500. Let's go take a look. And notice where they are in my list. Because they've been beaten up so much, out of the 25 stocks, they're found towards the bottom of my list. Cash. I will be doing a video tomorrow on defense stocks, and LMT and NOC are both in that. Make sure you guys tune in for the Friday 6 p.m. video. I will be doing a video, something along the lines of defense/AI stocks, specifically tied into what's going on in the world right now. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. for that video. All right, these 2 are highlighted. Let's go peep them out. There's the VVC, put on the last 3 months. Market's falling. Rebound today. Nice, really big open candle. I like that. That's a positive thing, even though the gap down is a negative thing. But even from the 3/8 perspective, I like to trade off of the 3 and 8 exponential moving averages. Just from a price perspective, the 3 went below the 8 on the 17th, and we've been going down, down, down. Screen is very blurry. If your screen is very blurry, Jason, you can refresh your screen. And Bo, I will be, if you stay with me until the end today, I'm going to give you a way to, for the lack of a better word, make your portfolio a little bulletproof. Make sure you stay with me for the rest of the day. For the rest of today, right? Those tanks burn a lot of oil. Which tanks? Talk to me. All right. So with that being said, that's the VectorVest composite. We broke through a level of support. Let's draw a horizontal line. Look at that. Broke through a level of support. I'd like to see if we can get close back above it today. We'll see. But The market is at a level where the market is looking for a bottom based upon two indicators that we have in the VectorVest software. Here's the S&P 500. So somebody says, is the S&P 500, is the S&P going down to 400? I don't know. Right now, even with the pullback from this morning, it was still above 410, right? There's the low. It was at 410.79. I don't know if it goes down below 400. But nonetheless, the S&P, the Dow are encroaching upon the level of bearish territory. I got something for you in regards to if we're still in a bull or bear market. I'm going to tell you that we are still in a bull market nonetheless. The canceling of the pipeline shutting down. Listen, I understand that we had a lot of oil on hand when we had the pipeline going, when we were drilling. I know a lot of that stuff was there. New administration came in, the directives changed, and it now possibly put us in a situation where we don't have the oil that we had. Well, it not possible. We don't, and it is what it is. I'm not going to try to rehash that out. All right, I'm not going to try to second guess anybody. All I'm telling you is from the perspective of where we are right now, oil is still a good play. That's all I really am worried about. Where am I going to make money? Where are you going to make money? And where can I show you how to make money? That's all that I want. Whoever did what and when they did it, I don't care. What's the market doing now and how can you make money? That's my concern. All right, that's my concern. All right, so I'm putting that out there, folks. I listen. There's a time and a place for all this other stuff. Just this ain't it. All right. So that's on the spiders. The 3 and the 8 crossed on the spiders. Oh, when? On 211. All right. Nonetheless, just look at the 3 and 8 exponential moving averages. I think it did a good job of getting us all out of the market, no matter whether you're a subscriber or not. All right, let's get back into my news story. So that's on the market. I still think that with what's going on, oil is still a good play. Gold is moving. I like gold too. And, you know, when I was coming to try to put together my stories for Trending Thursdays, the pickings were slim to find what was trending. I had to go back a quarter. I had to go back over the last 13 weeks to see what was still moving. But as I mentioned, if you stay with me to the end of today's presentation, I'm going to help to try to make your portfolios bulletproof right now. All right, I'm going to try to make your portfolios bulletproof. And if you want to know how to do that, you got to stay with me till the end of today. Number 2, if you like what you see, you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. And if you are not a subscriber to the VectorVest YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. We do this every Thursday. And I am going to point out, you guys like midday market update enough that for the month of March, we're going to be running midday market both on Mondays and Wednesdays, just for the month of March. So I pick up another live stream throughout the week, but I think that's, you guys have been pushing and watching the videos and the live stream for midday market. We're going to put it live for Monday and Wednesday. All right. So with that being said, let's go to the next story. My next story is going to be on mining stocks. Now, this is what I always like to say. When I look at mining stocks, it's not just gold and silver. It's mining, like iron ore and aluminum and all of the other metals. But even in the mining space, gold, silver stocks are starting to move. Here's a story on Centerra Gold announces acquisition of the Goldfield District Development Project in Nevada. Now, the biggest thing when you talk about gold stocks and what they've got, they go, they find a spot, they got to find the gold, right? So it's always a speculative play. Hey, we got this space. We think gold is there, but sometimes it takes years to find that gold. And that will affect. So I'm just putting that out there. They do have a project in Nevada. That was a couple of days ago. Announced today that it has entered into a definitive agreement whereby Centerra, through its subsidiary, will acquire 100% of Gemfield Resources, owner of Goldfield. So they picked up somebody. All right, they bought a smaller company, and they bought them for $206 million. Goldfield is a conventional open pit. I don't know much about the digging. Open pit heap leach project in late stage development. So this is towards the latter part of the development, which means they should be close to finding some gold. All right, located in a tier 1 mining jurisdiction. It contains 3 known deposits. All right, so with all of that speculation, they thought it was a good buy. They went and bought it. Now they got it. And there we go. So that's my gold stock in my list. That's my story. But if you look at my list of 25 stocks, right? What else is in my list for gold? I got CGAU, there's Centerra. Looks like it's about in the middle. By way of our master indicator VST, looks like it's about in the middle. But I got Yamana Gold, all right, because a lot of people know about Yamana Gold. How about Sibane? All right, towards the top part of the list. And I've got AMR. Look at that. Another gold stock, the number 4 stock on the list. Sibane, the number 6 stock on the list. 1, 2, 3, GFI. And then look at GFI. So I've got some gold, silver stocks. AMR is a metallurgical stock, not specifically a gold stock. So I am looking at mining stocks. Centerra Gold, the only one that's not a gold stock is AMR, but look at where it sits from a mining perspective. It's up there. Did I miss NVIDIA puts options input? No, Kevin, I didn't give you any information on that just quite yet. All right, so here's my 5 stocks in the mining / gold silver space, and you can see why this was my number 1 sector. A lot of the stocks were in the top half of the list. Let's right click. Let's view the stock graph, and let's go put this on a 3-month graph. CGAU, big down day today. So gold stocks may be taking a hit, but if you look at the stock over the last 3 months, bottom left, top right, without a lot of volatility involved, I still like the play. Relative value, relative safety tells me that the stock is more of a speculative play. It is what it is. All right, gold stocks are on the move, but not have been moving enough to be fundamentally sound just quite yet. But I ain't going to fight the tape. If it's moving, look at the 3 and the 8. If it's moving, and even with the big down day, the 3 hasn't crossed below the 8. If you own it, leave it alone. If you own it, leave it alone. Let the stock come to you. One day doesn't make a trend. Volume's been pretty steady. Relative timing has been running. I still like the play, even from a speculative point of view. Next one, AUY. Big down days today. So both of these stocks were moving up nicely. That went down. CGAU went down today. Yamana went down today. But look at that move. Look at that volume. I still like to play. Relative value, relative safety still shows me that it's not fundamentally sound. I still telling you that gold at this point is on the rise. It hasn't gotten to a level where it's fundamentally sound yet, but it doesn't stop me from still making money on these stocks. All right. What's the next one? Sibane. Down day today. It looks like gold for the most part, all of them. Now, here's the mining other, but look at this graph. How many of you know of AMR, type of 1 in the room? How many of you have never heard of AMR, type of 2 in the room? I like this stock. I did hit the lights. I did that to Patrick today. I don't know why. I did that to Patrick today. How many of you have heard of this stock, type of 1, if you've never heard of this stock, type of 2? I love the graph. I love this graph. There's bottom left, top right, not a lot of volatility. Love the volume behind it. Nobody's typing anything. There we go. Here we go. Sharon's heard of it. Patrick has not heard of it. Trev. All right, so it's a little mixture right now. Little mixture. I like the stock. Now, when I look at the relative value on this stock has upside potential. So there's a difference between the mining stocks. They do have upside potential for the most part. The gold stocks, even though they're moving, are still more speculative as a play. I like AMR. I like the volume on AMR. Classic candlestick pattern. This is known as a shooting star and follow through. The stock could have peaked out right now and watched the 3 and the 8. Even if it does pull back down and it starts to take some profits off the stock, keep this stock on your watch list. Definitely keep your stock on your watch list. Love the equity curve. And a lot of people had not heard of this stock. I'm glad I put you onto it. But I'd make sure I'm buying on an up day. All right, today wouldn't be the day to buy it. All of these gold stocks are under some selling pressure today. Look at this, Goldfield. Look at all of these stocks prior to today were nicely moving up. Love the volume. Down day on gold stocks. So I still think, let's do this. Let's go look at right click. I want to show you from a volatility perspective. Let's go look at the sector, the gold silver sector, mining gold silver. All right, there's my, that's just mining. Where's AUY? Where's Yamana? That one's got to be view the sector graph. All right. I still like gold. Because I'm looking at the sector. Never mind. Let's go look at the industry graph. There we go. Let's go look at the industry. And I want to show you why this is still a speculative play. This is mining gold silver. So I'm looking at, I right-clicked on the stock and I want to look at the industry graph. I want to look at the industry graph. Go put it on a 3-month graph. Gold silver is moving. All right, gold silver is moving. But look at the relative value, relative safety on that industry. Not fundamentally sound, but the stock, the industry is moving. And how about if I can find the industry with a 3-8 cross and get into it then? I can do that in VectorVest. I can look and see what industries the 3 and the 8 have crossed to get in early. All right, to get in early and start to see the industries that are on the rise. But I still think that it's still a speculative space, but the industry is still rising. All right, all my oil stocks are getting slammed. Well, let's talk about that next because my petroleum stocks is the next story. Let's go talk about that. All right, petroleum stocks, Gran Tierra. I know you guys have heard of this. This was yesterday. Gran Tierra Energy up 6.2% pre-market trading. That was yesterday. That's the only story that I have, but I've got several stocks. So you say your petroleum stocks are getting beaten up. Well, here's one. GTE up 4% today. OBE up is down today, and Synovus is down. Interesting that from this industry or this sector, the top 3 stocks in my watch list are petroleum stocks. The top 3 stocks in my watch list by VST are petroleum stocks. What other stocks do I have in there? OBE, SJT. This is a stock that I personally own right now. I always try to be transparent in the stocks that I own. San Juan Basin, I own. I'm up a little bit in that stock. I'm actually up a lot of good little bit in that stock. But notice that the petroleum stocks, for those of you who think that petroleum is maxed out, I'm still looking at these stocks. All of these stocks have good earnings growth. All of these stocks have good earnings growth, and they have good upside potential with relative values. All right. The majority of them CIs are above 1, which tells me that these stocks go up more than they go down. They go up more than they go down. JM, I'll show you that in a second. I know what you're asking. So let's take a look. Here's my 4 stocks in the petroleum space. All right. Let's go view the stock graphs. Let's go view the stock graph. Put this on a 3-month graph. Whew. For stocks in the space that looks like you say that it's going down, here's the stock that's bucking the trend. Here's the stock. AJ, have a great day. Here's a stock that's bucking the trend. Good, googly muggly, bottom left, top right. There you go. Now, and it's a low dollar stock. It's $1.37. Look at the volume. Earnings per share is at 29 cents on $1.37, and the earnings growth is 41% on $1.37 stock. Whew. It doesn't get any better than this. That's my Southern accent. It doesn't get any better than this. That's a beautiful looking equity curve. All right, let's go see what the rest of the stocks look like. OBE, bottom left, top right, a little choppy right now, but still the 3 is above the 8, a down day today. Remember, one day doesn't make a trend. The stock has been on a nice rise. Petroleum is still a hot sector, a hot industry. Now, CVE is a stock that was hot and heavy. Now, could this be peaking? Absolutely. I now see that the stock has pulled off at this level of resistance of 1609, number 1. Number 2, the 3 and the 8 just crossed below each other. There you go on 222. Would that have been a good opportunity to take your profits off the table? Absolutely. Would this been a good opportunity right here? Yeah. And then the stock went up. You go, oh, man. Listen, when the 3 goes below the 8, if you've taken a profit, don't worry about the stock going back up. If it goes back up, it does. But if you stayed in it and it didn't, you'd hate yourself. All right, VET is a good oil. JM, we've talked about that here on Trending Thursday. That has been a stock that we've looked at on Trending Thursday. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to see what was going on. All right, got 57 likes so far. Keeping my eye on that. I want to make sure that this is well worth your time. If you haven't already, hit the like button. All right, let's go. SJT, I had a note to myself on when to buy. Interesting. Why I love the 3 and the 8. Look at the pullback. And look at right now, the 3 and the 8 still holding. I'm still in that stock. Stock is going up nicely. And it's another lower dollar stock in the petroleum space. All right, relative value on the stock is very high. This stock long-term should outperform a AAA corporate bond. All right, so a question came up is, how can you find industries where the 3 and the 8 just went up? Let's go do this. I'm going to, where am I at? Unit search. I'm going to do this real quick. Let's go industries, price volume, price split adjusted, operator. Wait a minute. Is that not right? Price split adjusted. I can't do a 3 and 8 on an industry. That doesn't make sense. Industries, I may not be able to. Price, let's go do this price. I can't even do the price actually. It needs to be price split adjusted, especially if I'm going to, I got to look at that. I figured I could do that. Equal to, greater than. Interesting. I got to look into that. I may not be able to find an industry where the 3 cross above the 8. Let me think about that. All right, I'm thinking I can get around that. I'll think about that. All right, so those are my petroleum stocks. I still think that, let me see. Let's go find, what industry is this? Industry graph. Is this petroleum? It's petroleum. It's one of the petroleums. Put it on a 3-month graph. Let's go peep that out on a 3-month graph. This is Petroleum International Integrated. Maybe Eton is right. Maybe it is starting to pull back. That's on the whole industry. Eton, I'm not afraid to say when I'm wrong, but I also am looking at stocks that are leaders in that industry. They're still rising, but Eton might be right. Eton, that's just one of the industries. All right, let's do this. Viewers, let's go to sector viewer, and let's go to petroleum. There we go. Petroleum is still the number 1 sector, Eton. Look at that. Let's view the industries in that sector. So that was one of the industries, right? Let's go to industries drilling, view the industries graph. I'd have to go look at each one of them, Eton. But Eton might be right that maybe the space could be leveling out. Put it on a 3-month graph. Let's go look at the drilling part. Is that pulling back? Actually, not nearly as much. It's still leveling out. So Eton, maybe 1 or 2 of the industries might be exhibiting that, but maybe not all of them. All right, maybe not all of them. So I'd have to go look at each one of these. But royalties, if I look at what's going on today, wow, royalties is up almost 5% today, and machinery equipment. Let's go take a peep at that real quick. View that industry graph. Oh, I like doing some of this stuff on the fly. I love this. I love doing some of this stuff on the fly because you keep me on my toes, right? All right, and it gives me an opportunity. This is leveling out. It gives me an opportunity to flex the muscle and the power that the VectorVest software has. All right. Can you explain why using the 3 and the 8 while others use the 8, 20, and the 50? Ronnie, because it works. That's just 18 years of being here at VectorVest. All right, 18 years. I'm about to be 18 years next month. 18 years being here at VectorVest, just going through a lot of different variations of moving averages. We've honed in that the 3 and the 8 work out well. All right, Ronnie, that's the best answer and the most honest answer that I can give to you because it works. All right, let's go back to the watch list viewer, trending Thursday, 224. All right, so those are my petroleum stocks. Let's get into healthcare stocks. We still know. Now, this is going to be an interesting play. Let's get into, not that. Let's get into healthcare stocks. Now, where's this one? BDX. All right, so that's in my healthcare stocks, right? Yeah. So interesting that and I don't want to say it too prematurely that COVID is going to be in the rearview mirror. I don't want to say that because, God forbid, we get another variant and it starts running all over the place, blah, 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 blah. That's another rabbit hole. But if we're getting to a point where vaccines, people are feeling a little bit more comfortable with vaccines, then maybe it starts to pull back in this industry. But right now, this industry is still moving. Now, Ronnie, when you say you will change, you need to make sure it's right for you. I use the 3 and the 8 because for what I present here on the channel or what we do in our live day trading room, the Jockey Club, it works for us. You, before you decide you want to change, my friend, make sure it works for you. Biden just said that the oil producers don't get greedy. Listen, the supply ain't there. The demand is high. It's capitalism. All right, unless somebody's gouging, and I'm not going to call this gouging. It's a product of what's going on. It's definitely a product of what's going on. And that's what inflation is. Inflation is a product of what goes on. So I ain't going to call it that they're greedy or that they're gouging. Prices are going to go up, and that's what inflation is all about. If we wouldn't have inflation if prices didn't go up. All right, just think about it from that perspective. All right, so here's a stock in the space. Why you should retain BDX stock in your portfolio. Popularly known as BD is well poised for growth in the coming quarters, backed by its slew of strategic deals over the past few months. A robust first quarter, along with few regulatory approvals, blah, 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 blah. That's Zacks. The renowned medical technology company has a market cap of $75 billion. The company projects 6.5% growth over the next 5 years and expects to maintain a strong performance. All right. BD has delivered an earnings surprise of 12.5% for the past 4 quarters on average. So this is a stock in the healthcare field for you guys to keep your eyes on. So let's go check it out. All right, there's BDX. I've got other stocks in this list. Let's auto-fit all the columns. BDX is in this list. Cigna is a big name in this list. Where is it? Right below BDX. All right, so remember, healthcare stocks is my third sector today. MMSI, towards the bottom, that's Merit Metasystems. And the last one is COO Cooper, blah, 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 blah. $398. I don't know much about that stock. But I was looking at the earnings per share. Notice on all of these companies, the earnings per share are decent. BDX, this company we just talked about on the news story, 19%. Cigna, as big as it is, only has an 8% growth rate on earnings. Cooper, another company in this space, 15%, and another company. How many of you have heard of MMSI type of 1? How many of you have heard of MMSI type of 1? If you have not, type of 2. So this is another company in that space. And you know me, I always love to try to bring stocks that you don't know to the table. Because we track over 9,000 stocks. Why are we going to hone in on just 100 of them? So I always try to bring, if the space is hot, I like to bring stocks to the table that you don't know. Energy says there's reported another variant, Novavax, is said to provide an alternative to mRNA type vaccines. We'll see. You guys never heard of this. This is good. This is good. I feel good when I can bring a stock to the table that you don't know. It makes me feel good. I like that. All right, so we're going to take a look at all 4 of these stocks. Let's go view the stock graph, starting with BDX. I put it on a 3-month graph. So this is the story of a stock that's made earnings. Where's my earnings per share? 12%. Earnings is falling. Interesting how the story says, This is why we do our VectorVest analysis. The stock is pulling off of a shooting star pattern, followed by confirmation of the 3 and the 8 going lower, leveling out right now, but the forecasted earnings per share is falling. Earnings growth is at 19%, but I don't like that. Michael says CYH has 83 hospitals in 16 states, which we reported 1.1 days ago, low PO, but Russia news made this sell-off, but has upgrades to $18. You notice I get stories from all over the place, Michael, so I don't just hone in on just one company for news. I get it from all over the place, and this is why the analysis from the VectorVest software is so important. All right, be careful with BDX. I'm not feeling the earnings. Remember, earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. Now, on the other hand, Cigna is a company that's been around a long time. It's pulling back, sitting in a little bit of a channel right now, a little bit of indecision today. The 3 and the 8 went negative yesterday, but I do like the rising earnings. The stock's got good upside potential, decent upside potential with a relative value at 1.07. Now, from an earnings perspective, Cigna tends to meet or exceed its earnings. There's earnings, stock went up, not that far off of where the earnings is right now. A little bit of a sideways move. But watch the 3 and the 8. From a shorter term perspective, I'd be careful with it, okay? There's the MMSI. You didn't know about it, but I like this hammer formation. Look at that. Hammer formation, stock's price moving higher. Look at the volume. Look at the relative timing. In the space of healthcare products, now I don't like the earnings per share, but from a short, earnings came out today, looks like. Look at that there. Looks like they beat earnings. I'm assuming I could probably check the news. Looks like they beat earnings. And this was, again, I was looking at this prior to today. Earnings comes out. Look at the 3.8 went bullish yesterday, followed through today. This is a stock. If you've never heard of it, keep your eye on it. I do like the relative value above 1. The stock should outperform a AAA corporate bond by 24% over the next 1 to 3 years. And relative safety is okay. They grow their earnings at a clip of 24% a year. All right. And Cooper is another one moving higher, but in a channel. Nice big update today. Look at that. And the 3 and the 8 just crossed today. I like that, but I need more confirmation. The stock needs to break through a couple of levels of resistance before I buy it. But it's in that same space, and earnings per share is moving higher. All right, so those are my healthcare stocks. Now, remember I told you if you stayed with me to the end, I was going to help you in regards to bulletproofing your portfolio? All right. So what do you think is a good place besides petroleum to be right now? Type it in the room. Where do you think, what other spot is a good spot to put your money? What other spot right now is a good spot to put your money? Type it in the room. All right. And as you're doing that, I'm going to ask again, if you haven't hit the like button already and you like what you see here, don't forget to hit the like button. If you like what you see here and you haven't supported the channel by subscribing to the channel, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, please, as well. Markets are starting to turn around as we speak. I got you, Jav. We're going to look at that in a second. Gold, we talked about that already. Aha! Lee was the first person that said it. Lee was gunpowder. I got me some guns and some powder and some. Lee was the first person who said it. And defense, Mukesh, is something that we will, again, make sure you watch tomorrow's 6 p.m. video. Clove was a stock that I was going to look at today, Michael. I was going to look at it. Still reported a loss, but raised revs outlook. That was a stock that I was going to look at today. Energy, banking. Banking VP is another spot that I like. Only one person said it. Contras. Contras is a great place. Jim says under the mattress. That's a good place to put your money. That's what Joey does. Joey, aren't you tired of putting all your money under the mattress yet?
It's getting uncomfortable.
And Joey says it's getting uncomfortable. Shipping, Trev, is interesting in that when shipping is up, it's moving. When it ain't, it sucks. You got to time shipping. I like to use, if I'm going to look at that industry, I will use the 3 and the 8 on shipping. Ronnie, I'm the same thing. I would use the 3 and the 8 exponential moving averages on that industry to time that industry. Now, JM says commodities. No, not right now. Why is commodities not a good place to put your money? because the sanctions that are going to be put on Russia is going to it's going to adversely affect their ability to ship out stuff. They are big exporters of not only oil and gas, but of commodities. All right. And if they ship a lot of commodities all across the world, if they're going to be sanctioned, that's going to affect it. That's going to affect it. I don't think commodities, with the exception of probably gold or oil, are a place to be. Zim is a good stock in the shipping space, but again, I would use the 3-day exponential moving average to time that space. Hi, first day here. What are some few petroleum stocks to buy right now? I just started watching live, and I gave some stocks to take a look at. They were OBE. They were towards the top of my list. GTE, OBE, CVE. And what was my other one? CVE, GT, SAM. These were 4 stocks to take a look at in that space, for that. So materials, maybe Jawar, maybe fertilizer. I do like UVixie is dropping today because the market's turned around. Energy market's turned around. I think oil is very overbought, says Michael. We looked at it. I'm not sure I fully agree with you, but you know something? I still think that, Michael, from the perspective of oil going up in price, oil stocks are going to keep going up. All right, and oil stocks are going to keep going up. It's been rocking and rolling. Could it be in a level of being overbought? I don't disagree with you totally. I still think that it's a good spot to be right now, Michael. That's my personal opinion. All right. So now from bulletproofing your portfolio, let's take a look at some contra ETFs. All right. Let's go take a FANG stocks are getting beat up, Betsy. You know me. I'm an Apple player. I own Apple, and I'm still going to own Apple. But FANG stocks are getting beaten up. Be careful with those stocks, Betsy. Be careful with those stocks. So FAZ, what else? PSQ, there's 3. What else? And hedge. Hedge I like. I do like hedge because it's a good way to hedge your whole portfolio without having to hone into one specific space. All right, let's go take a look at these. This is a good spot, like I said, to help sort of kind of, and I don't have a better word to use except for bulletproof your portfolio. So all of these stocks, look at it, gapped up because the market gapped down. The market's responding and coming back, moving up. All of these will start going down. All right, look at this. So I love all of the contras. And the cool thing about a contra is that you buy it long. Contra stands for contrarian to the market. You buy it long, and then they go up in value as the market goes down. But you see all of these are pulling back, right? All of these are pulling back because go to the graphs. The market went to the green. Look at that. Market went to the green. Now, how do I phrase this without sounding like nana poo-poo? All my VectorVest subscribers, what did I talk about was a possibility of what was going on right now? All right, so all of you who are not subscribers to the software, listen to the people. What did I tell you? Where were we in regards to what the market's conditions were? Type it in the room. All you people who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, peep out what they have to say. What did I say last night in the Daily Color Guard? What were we looking for? All right. Now, if my VectorVest subscribers don't say anything, then I'm going to look like a total idiot, and Joey will love that. Won't you, Joey?
Maybe.
One and then
Yeah, whatever. All right. So Lee's the only one that said anything. Wow. Interesting. All right. There we go. Now you're starting to see it revert oversold, that the market was searching for a bottom. Now, do I say that this is a bottom after the big pullback? I can't call that yet. Why? How do you know when a market is bottomed? When it stops going down and it starts going up. Now, notice that the news hasn't changed, right? Russia's still going into Ukraine. Inflation is still a problem. The Fed is still going to raise interest rates. What's all of this right now? One day doesn't make a trend. Interesting. Nothing has changed. Not a thing. What is this? People taking advantage of the blood in the streets. The market's gone down. Stocks have gotten killed over the last 4 days. Markets can't go down forever. And it's gone down enough that we had indicators that said that the market was at a level looking for a bottom. That the market was at a level looking for a bottom. I can't call this a bottom yet, but I can say that the system was right on point. Now, sometimes searching for a bottom means we could be there for a couple of weeks. With all of the news that happened in the market falling as hard as it did in the short amount of time that it did, the market may have responded. So I'm not calling it a bottom. I'm not even saying that the market's going to start going up and go, woo-woo, yay, because nothing's changed. There's no new news that changed what's going on. I like that it went up today. I'm not putting a whole lot of money behind that move today. I'm looking at all of those contras. We looked at the graphs. They all fell back today. Why? Because now the market moved up. That's the downside of playing a contra ETF. Is when the market moves up and moves up big, those will hurt you in the pocket quickly. I've done videos that talked about the different tiers of contra ETF. Non-leverage, 2 times leverage, 3 times leverage. The more leverage you are in a contra ETF, the more susceptible to risk you will be. That's another video for another time. All right, that's another video for another time. Roger says, I didn't watch it as I was at the People's Convoy and it got late. Okay. That's a beautiful green candle. I agree with you. Very little wick at the top. Very little wick at the top. All right. So for all my people who are not subscribers to the software, we keep our subscribers right in tune with what's going on. As you notice, they typed in the room that I was talking last night on the Daily Color Guard report that we were at a level of looking for a bottom. All right. Whew. That's a lot. I should drink this Pepsi. I shouldn't have this Pepsi. It's Joey's fault. Joey brought this Pepsi and put it on my desk, and he twisted my arm, and he said I had to eat it. No. He said, they can't hear you, Joey. They can't hear you. And he twisted my arm, and I said, Joey, I got the diabetes, and I can't do that. He said, keep that Pepsi. I'm a fool. That's what Joey said. All right. Right, Joey? Joey is mad at me. Joey did not make me take this Pepsi. He did not make me take this Pepsi.
I know they can hear me. They know.
They can't hear you. I made sure they can't hear you. All right. So the last thing I want to get into, I got some stocks of interest. I always got some stocks of interest. Let's go take a look. I got some stocks of interest. Starbucks is on my list. Starbucks looks cheap as cool-off continues. We're going to take a look at that. So I go all over the place to find these stories. This was yesterday. United Parcel Service, solid performance, accelerating dividend growth. You got to love a stock that not only has good earnings, but good dividends that makes it very attractive for people to buy. Raymond James talks about 2 stocks. One of them we don't track, but the other one was Fastly. Ranger Services. Fastly saw a sharp drop, 33% in value earlier this month, coinciding with the release of its fourth quarter 21 numbers. The correlation bears some looking into, blah, 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 blah. We're going to take a look at the stock. And last but not least, another one, Altria. Good quarter, strong capital returns. All right. So these were stocks, bigger name stocks that I know about that I wanted to bring to the table. I want to show you something. Ooh. Altria, look at where it is in the list. Starbucks, ooh, look at it, where it is in the list. Fastly, ooh, look at it, where it is in the list. UPS, ooh, look at it, where it is in the list. And one other stock, CMBM, Cambium Network. So this is what other people are pushing in regards to stuff that they feel comfortable about. Well, the first thing that comes in, these are names that I know, with the exception of that one. These are names that I know. And I look and I say, well, in the list of 25 stocks, where do they all sit? Yep, should be Coca-Cola if you're going to drink soda. Oh, heck no. It's always going to be Pepsi over Coca-Cola. Always going to be Pepsi over Coca-Cola. All right, So notice that these stocks of interest, with the exception of CMBM and UPS, are towards the bottom of the list. Let's go take a look at their graphs. So the stories look promising, and this is why we do the analysis that we do. All right? It's one thing to have a story. It's another thing to have a tool to help you to make right decisions. Up until today, Altria has been moving up nicely, bottom left, top right. Big move down today. This wasn't an earnings play. Nope, this wasn't an earnings play. Big move down today, but found a level. Look at the wick today. Found at a level of support of 48.55. Where's the earnings? Falling. So the story tells you one thing, but the analysis tells you something else. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Starbucks. Yeah, it's great as the cooler. Oh, look at this stock. So this is a website that's saying, hey, you got to look at Starbucks because it's great, dude. Now, I do like the earnings per share. I do like the relative value on the stock. I'm on the wrong side, ain't I? Yep. I do like the earnings per share is rising, and I do like the relative value on the stock. It's got good upside potential. I'd time the trade, though. I would time the trade. And Jawar, we were going to do a story. I just couldn't do it on Tuesdays of Macy's and Lowe's, two retail stocks that did well from earnings perspective. We were going to do the story. There's so much that I want to do. Just can't always do it in the time that I want to do it. But that was something that was on our radar, Jawar. That was something that was on our radar. Michael says, I like Coke, and the reason Pepsi trades much higher is the chip part of the business. You know something? Pepsi will never overtake Coke, ever. Why? Name recognition. Pepsi will never overtake Coke. And I say that, and you never know. Coke has been around longer, and it's worldwide name recognition, Michael. So Pepsi could be rising. I don't think it'll ever overtake Coca-Cola. That's just me. That's just me, baby. All right, Starbucks, nice move today, but overall, I'm not feeling it. What else did the articles talk about? Fastly? Man, look at the earnings. Right after earnings, boom, fall. Earnings per share, prior to earnings coming up here, earnings was already falling. Fastly is just moving down. Kay Montecore says Coke all the way. I don't know where all you people come from with all this Coke. I'm a Pepsi kind of guy. I'm a Pepsi. Joey, do you like Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Whatever. I don't like you anymore. United Parcel Service. I'm gonna put you in timeout. All right. UPS.
Put you in timeout.
You can't go ahead, put me in timeout, and then the whole thing shuts down. Then what?
Muted. Say something.
Yes, folks, me and Joey fight like this all day long, but I love him. I love him to death. All right, UPS. Story said it was a good stock to think about. Look at that. Was this an earnings play? No, but I'm not. Look at that big gap. Look at earnings. And right after earnings, fall hard. Fall hard. Wow. And this was the stock, the last one. This was one that I did like this. Telecom Cellular. Nicely moving up from this level of a low. 3 and 8, back and forth, but nicely. Earnings, stock's price went up, volume's picking up, and I like the earnings per share. This is the Telecom Cellular in those stories. I'd say keep your eyes on that one out of all of the stocks that were in my stocks of interest today. All right. With that, folks, I'm done. Where's that? I'm done. Woo-wee. Had a lot to do today. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you as part of the VectorVest VV Nation. This is what we do. All right. That's another one in the books. All my notes for this one. There's another one in the books. Again, thank you guys for spending some of your afternoon with me on a trending Thursday. There's just a lot going on in the world, and a lot of those things could affect the way that you trade. Hopefully, we've covered some of that today, opened your eyes to some things to keep your eyes on and some things to stay away from. I like the input on oil that I've gotten from you guys. that might be oversold. Might be overbought. I'm not there yet, especially knowing that oil should still continue to rise. Russia's not going to be able to send it out because they're going to be sanctioned. OPEC needs to get up off their butts and say, all right, world, we're going to help you. Remember the Coca-Cola song? I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I need OPEC to be kumbaya-ish and help the world out. All right? That's what I need. All right. How many of you remember that song? How many of you remember the Coca-Cola song? Type of 1 in the room. As we go out, how many of you remember that old commercial, the Coca-Cola song? All right. Just type a 1 on the way out. All right. With that, I'm signing off. Adios. Arrivederci. Ciao. Au revoir. Sayonara. Aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. All right. Salam. Shalom. Namaste. Yasu. Until next time, folks. See ya.